want everybody to take a moment and get settled. Sit in your spot, whatever's comfortable for you. And imagine for a moment a time before your birth, when you were wandering the heavens as a disincarnate soul. You were immersed in the beauty and peaceful harmony of paradise when a call went out. A call for volunteers to incarnate in bodily human form. There was a small blue planet far off in the Milky Way galaxy that was experiencing a crisis and was in need for souls who would be willing to incarnate in a human body to help out in Earth's time of need. You made a decision to volunteer. So next, what you had to do is you had to meet with the Incarnation Committee to discuss with its members the part you wanted to play and the work you wanted to do. You made a covenant at that time to do the work you agreed to do. But there was a catch. Not only were you to serve, you were also required to grow. It was your job to increase the intensity of your light and to grow in wisdom and in stature, as well as to serve. You next had to make a series of decisions that would perfectly situate you to be of maximum service and to develop a custom-designed learning curriculum for your soul to assure its maximum learning potential. You had to decide what particular sets of gifts, talents, abilities you wish to bring and that you wish to contribute to life on Earth. And not only to life on Earth, but to the human family. The dreams and aspirations that would lead you to your destiny to fill this earthly covenant that you agreed to. You chose a date of birth determining an astrological configuration that would give you clues to your soul's earthly purpose and destiny. You chose a place on Earth, a climactic zone, a region in which to reside. You chose a racial and ethnic form that would enable you to best express yourself. A socioeconomic class that would provide you with the challenges and the benefits that you would need. There was a spiritual tradition with its particular sets of rituals and practices that would support you. You chose a gender with its attendant opportunities and challenges as well. A particular set of parents that would provide you with their particular strengths and qualities that you could draw upon with a designed set of difficulties that you would experience with them in order to learn, grow, and to prepare you for the service that you were to perform. Your siblings, your relationship with them, the difference in age, your companionship, and the conflicts with them that would provide you with the important lessons and resources. And finally, you chose a name. Once all of these decisions were made, you were free to incarnate and begin your earthly mission, forgetting all that went before you. But with time, you would slowly and surely begin to rediscover why you were here and how wisely you had chosen and planned everything. Because every factor in your life has been perfectly positioned for you for the service you are to perform and to maximize your potential for learning and growing. So what if this is the case? What if this is true? I don't know because I don't remember. And I'm not going to speak to that. And I read this because I didn't want to mess anything up in this story. Because when I first read this years ago, something went off for me. Something lit up, and it all kind of made sense in a way, like all of those pieces. Why am I here? What's the point? I never chose. I mean, I remember growing up and even as an adult saying, I didn't choose this life. But what if I did? What if we all did? What if this was all planned out choice, volunteer decision that we made to come here, to be the person that we are? Huh. Wow. Kind of changes things a little bit. It did for me. You know, it changes it in that I chose this, and I have gifts, and I have talents, and I set myself up to be in this life with the things that I would need, the tools that I would need. And I forgot. And I get to spend this life, these days, remembering. And some days it's really easy, right? Some days it's really easy for me to remember who and what I am and why I'm here. And some days it's a little harder. But it is that, what am I here to do? What did I sign up for? What did I volunteer to do? To give and grow. You know, if this is the case, this choice that I made to come and be here was twofold. To help out, to volunteer, to do and bring my gifts, but also walk through challenges, walk through troubled times to grow, to improve and enlighten my spiritual being, to enhance not only myself but the planet. So who and what have I come here to be? Right? Not what's the purpose, but what did I plot out? You know, what did I make that, what did I plan with the committee? For me, this whole picture of, you know, floating around in perfection and beauty and paradise, making a choice to be a human. Learning to walk and talk and getting used to the limits of a physical body and not. You know, what it is to get to be here and to remember that part of being our being is that we get to manifest and create. So my life, I made some decisions to give me some help along the way. We all did. You know, not just me, but we all made this choice to be here. And then there was light. You know, we all made this choice to be here. We all chose it. Not just the ones in this room, but, you know, not just the ones that remember, but also the ones of us that forget. You know, we all made a choice to be here. And we get to practice doing that. We may not always remember what it was that we decided or planned or wanted to do, but we get to adjust that. You know, we get to remember little by little through meditation, through prayer, that what we have come here to do was grow and give, to help out and expand. And we get to do that by practicing, you know, practicing our talents. And remembering and knowing that it wasn't just, you know, me that chose to be here, but everybody else. And some of us remember all on the same day, you know, and it all kind of is very harmonious and everything. There's no conflict, there's no upset, there's just, wow, everything's lining up. Because everybody's kind of all on the same page. And then there's not those days, not those situations where we're a little short, we're not so loving, we're not so kind, we're not so gracious, we're kind of not on that mark of that full, true expression. Whether it's ourselves or with another, or we're just in conflict. It's not as harmonious as we want it to be, as we wish it should be. And what we get to do is we get to remember and shift. You know, we get to make a decision how we go into the next moment or the next day, or the next time somebody talks to me that way, maybe I'm not going to respond like that. Or the next time somebody does that, I'm going to remember to say thank you. Or the next time that happens, I'm just going to sit and be quiet. Because when we're not in line with what we chose to be, when we're not in line with who we came here to be, we feel it. The other person may or may not even realize that we were not in line with what we chose to do and what we're remembering and planning and trying to do. But we feel it. I don't get a good night's sleep. I wake up the next morning. I'm like, oh, something's not right. Whatever your signpost is, you know, whatever your signpost is to remind you that kind of not in line with what I really want to be, with my ideal. I'm not in line with principle. I'm not in line with love. There's something that happens. Somebody says, I get mine sometimes in various different ways. Somebody else responds back to me and I'm like, ooh, I didn't want that. Why are you talking to me that way? Oh, wait, where am I coming from? Or I don't get it. I can't go to sleep. I don't get a good night's sleep. I wake up kind of that groggy, something's not right feeling. And the rest of my day doesn't seem to line up right. Something happens, you know, I get late, I miss that parking spot, oh, there's a ticket, okay. What, you know, my signposts have I know what they are. Because when I'm in principle, when I am living to that highest potential that I chose to live with and live as, my days are usually pretty smooth and easy. But when they're not, when they're not, or there's that interaction at the grocery store or whatever it is, and I automatically want to say, why are they being this way? Because it's them. It's not me, don't you know? I'm a perfect child of God. I pray, I meditate. I'm not, what happened? What's wrong with them? That's my first and biggest signpost, because I know that once I'm trying to put it on somebody else, I don't want to look inside. But they're a perfect child of God as well. They chose to be here. They made a plan and thought all of that stuff out before they came here, just like I did. So we're both having days of forgetfulness, of not remembering who and what we came to be. And it's not, I've come to, it's not, I didn't have on my job that it was here to teach everybody what it was their job to do. Because that doesn't work. It doesn't work me telling people how they need to be. You may have better experience with that. I don't get that too much. It's, you know what you need to do? I don't react well to that, so I assume most other people don't react well. But what I need to do in the moment is shift it and change it. Because that little bit of conflict, that little bit of upset, isn't necessarily a bad thing that I need to turn away from. It's more, here's an opportunity to practice. Here's an opportunity to remember. Here's an opportunity for me to expand my potential, to get more in line and remembering on a more regular, consistent basis why I came here in the first place. Absolutely.
It has some fun, huh?
Yeah. Absolutely. What I came here to do was not to be irritable, discontented, and causing more wreckage and more pain than before. Now, it's taken me, for myself, a little while to realize and accept the story. Because whether or not it's true, it resonates. Just like whether or not the story of Jesus is factual, whether or not the story of Buddha is factual, whether or not any of the stories in the Bible or Holy Scriptures are factual, they're true. There's truth to them. There's truth to them in that as a human and as beings and people, we have these struggles, we have these challenges, and we get these conflicts. And all of these stories are there to remind us, to guide us along the way for that remembering of what it is to be a co-creator with God, a co-creator with the consciousness that is. that we have that ability to shift and that power to change and manifest. Because I know for me, I wake up, I go through the day, somebody rubs me the wrong way. I have the thought, oh great, it's going to be one of those days. And sure enough, it's one of those days again. Minutes go by hours, I'm looking at my clock all the time going, is it time to leave yet? Oh my goodness, when is it going to be done? Because I've created and made for me one of those days. And in the same regard, what I get to do is say, oh wow, what a great day. What a great day it's going to be. And all of a sudden, the rest of the day is great. And I still have the same problems I had, the same troubles at work. There's the same, nothing externally has changed. Nothing's changed but my perspective. And all of a sudden, that's what changes. That's what shifts. And that saying thank you to somebody, that being gracious and, I'm in a hurry, but I'm going to give away that parking spot. And I'm not going to, run that yellow light this time. And I'm not going to do this because really, what is that going to do for me? Like, take a moment, Rebekah, be here. You're going to get where you need to go in 2 minutes or 10 minutes, but you're going to be there. I have to remind myself that quite a bit. And sometimes when I forget, I've got a community that I've created around myself as well that I get to call up, I get to reach out to, I get to say things to, and they get to remind me. Hey Rebekah, it's not about you. You're not the only one on this planet. Really? Oh right. Oh right, I'm not the only one here. I'm not the only one that made this choice and this decision. And if I'm not the only one that made the choice and decision to be here, then everybody else made the choice and decision to be here. And I have no idea. I have no idea what you came here to do. The general plan was that we would come, give, and grow. But how and why each of us chose that, I can't tell you. But you know. And you get to remember and do that. The Sufis say that the center where heaven and earth meet is the heart. Where heaven and earth meet, the two rivers, they meet in the heart. Like that, it's the center point. And what a difference it makes when we stop and just focus here. Just, okay. It's my center. It's not by coincidence or by chance that throughout the ages, love has been represented by the heart. There's plenty of other organs that we have that could have represented that we could have chosen. Plenty. But the heart is the center of our body. It's the strongest organ in the body. What it has to do in a day, in a minute, is incredible. It takes in air and adds it to the blood. filters, circulates, and pumps all our blood, our life force through our body. And it's there that when we have a moment of forgetting and needing to remember, that we can go there. I tend to put my hand over my heart because then it's, sometimes like that. I'll make myself a heart sign. I'll do, I carry little reminders of myself that it's the heart that I need to come from. Because that's where love comes from. That's where our life force comes from. Because our brain can keep going, but once the heart stops, and not just physically stopping, but metaphysically. When we stop loving, what happens to our life? When we stop liking and loving what we have and being grateful for what we have, what manifests in our life? You fill in the blank. Because we all have that experience. We all have that at one point, that experience or that thing where we just stopped loving that person, just stopped loving our job, we stopped being grateful, we stopped going through that forgiveness and acceptance of what is. And we saw what happened, and death. That relationship died, that job didn't work out, car stopped working, whatever it was that we loved and then stopped loving and caring for and giving back to, fades. And so what we get to do is re-love, open that channel, give more in that. Not that we have to love everything or give that way in everything, but it makes things a lot easier and smoother when we do. We don't have to like it, but I'm going to love it to death. I don't have to like you, but I'll love you. I'll love you. But I don't like you. I'm not going to have coffee with you. I'm not going to hang out with you. I'm not going to invite you to family gatherings, but I'm still going to love you. I'm still going to love you and open up, because you are here by choice to share, give, and grow your talents and your gifts with this planet, with the rest of us. So we'll love you. And then some of you I like too. And that's what we get to do. That's what we've come here to be. We've come here to be what we see in others, those wonderful, beautiful qualities that we see in others, and whether it's courage, determination, charismatic, loving, joyful, authentic, we get to be that. And remember that it is when we are joyful and loving, life is a wonderful place to be. And we still have a lot of work ahead of us. We still have a lot of work. There's still a lot of conflict and strife and pain going on. We don't have to look far as to that. but it's still happening. And we get to love them. You know, we get to love this life that we chose and that they chose. And when we can love a situation and bring love into it, it's okay. It's okay. And we don't, you know, whether we like it or not, we get to love it. And with that, we get to remember who and what we came here to be and be joyful and grateful. And all of a sudden, life is good. And I do encourage everybody to participate in the World Day of Prayer coming up. It is an important, amazing, one day a year. All the unitics, all of us in unity, all around the world pray. And this planet needs some more prayer. You know, not just here locally, but all over the world. And what we can do personally in our own personal lives, when we can see that in our own personal lives, how prayer and meditation and a positive thought can shift everything, just imagine what we can do for the planet. You know, and what we can do for everyone else that's remembering and forgetting. You know. So I do encourage that. It is a tradition that Myrtle Fillmore started, one of our co-founders, many, many years ago, and still continues today. And, you know, one day a year, I think one day a year is a really good start. And let us just be joyful and loving today and every day. And so I say thank you.